The Walking Dead is taking another bite out of the Big Apple in season 2 of The Walking Dead: Dead City. And here to tell us all about what we can expect from the hit AMC series are stars Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Lauren Cohan, who are also executive producers, along with big boss man of the Walking Dead universe, Scott Gimple. Lauren, Jeffrey, Scott, I want to thank you all so much for joining us here at IGN Fan Fest to tell us a little bit more about The Walking Dead, Dead City Season 2. We're already, is this 2 years in now? We're 2 years in. We're 2 seasons in. How excited are you all?
Hard to believe.
Yeah,
we're good.
On the precipice of 2 years.
Many years.
I'm glad we're returning to the Big Apple. I want to start with you, Lauren. You know, coming off of the back of season 1, you know, we see Maggie reunite with her son Herschel. You know, going into season 2, can you describe to us, like, what's the mental state like Maggie's in as things kind of pick up going into season 2? Like, where do we find her?
Sadly, not everything, because it is the Walking Dead universe. Sadly, not everything is quite as rosy as it could be or seems, or one would hope. My son is still a teenage boy, and there's sort of these natural tensions of navigating just family life. And I've got Ginny in my care, and she's a teenage girl, and so there's this sort of like very relatable domestic dynamics that are playing out as we come back in season 2, on top of this apocalyptic world and trying to sort of eat and stay safe and sleep. So that's sort of where we find ourselves before another big bad thing happens.
That we can't dive too deep into, I'm assuming, Scott.
Well, there's so many big bad things that happen.
Part of the joy of stories is, watching them.
Watching them unfold. I mean, you're absolutely right. I feel like one character, though, Jeffrey, I'm talking to you. Your character has seen so many ups and downs, and you went from being like just a despised character to, like, I would say, like a fan favorite now. So I'm kind of curious, where do we find Negan as we move into season 2? Like, you got that barbed wire bat, Lucille. You know, what's the significance here with that bat, and where do we find Negan as we move into season 2?
Well, we find Negan, I think, very much under the thumb of the Dama and Croat, and sort of on some ground he's not real familiar with. And he's going to try to flip that script, of course, but he's in a place that I don't think he's enjoying very much. Beginning of the season, we find him having a hard time, I think, with all of it. And, he's always scheming and trying to figure out how he can get on top of the situation, but he finds himself in a hard spot. The Lucille of it all, I mean, what can I say? I love that thing. But I, as an actor, that's the only prop I've ever had my whole life that I enjoy carrying around with me, and it brought back very fond memories for me, not for Lauren. But it's a good exclamation point for Negan.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, is it true that you were overly protective of the bat while you were on set? Like, you wouldn't let anyone touch it? Or is that just a...
Yeah, but I've always been like that with that one prop. I would let Lauren hold her.
Yeah, Maggie gets her hands on it.
But it's just a prop that, like, in between takes, I keep with me. Like, if I go to my trailer, she goes to the trailer with me. If I go and get a cup of coffee, then she's at craft service with me.
Yeah, she has a chair.
I guess it kind of just speaks to how connected you are to the character, Jeffrey. Like, I mean, because, like, as we all know, like, Lucille is that was the name of Negan's wife, and so, I mean, is that the kind of correlation that you kind of draw to it, that you're like this is like my baby?
I think very much that it all goes back to Lucille, the wife, and then I think carries on more meaning, especially this season, getting it back. Is it good or is it bad? Negan's going to have a love-hate relationship because that's what he's having in real life with kind of everything right now, and the bat is another thing that he as much as Jeffrey likes it, Negan may or may not have a hard time with her at times.
Well, yeah, I'm just glad that Lucille's back. I think fans are as well. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out in season 2. Now, Lauren, I got to ask you this: what's been your approach to the character as we've seen her go through so much throughout the various seasons of The Walking Dead and now in Dead City?
It's such an unprecedented length of time in a certain kind of subject matter and with one singular character. Luckily we've been blessed to have writing that refreshes us each year, that takes us on new challenges with our character. For a long time in The Walking Dead, we got to see characters interact, but we were serving often like 5 storylines, and in Dead City we go deeper and deeper and deeper into fewer lanes. So I guess to answer your question, it has felt renewable, and it has felt renewed, especially this year. It has ironically become that much more real for me over these 15 years, and it's also I've grown as a woman. I'm older than I was. I have more things that I feel that I want to protect. So that was a long answer, but I think that's been part of this thread of the journey for me with Maggie.
I just think she's really grown as a woman. I just wanted to say, yes, you have.
You know what?
Thanks,
I think
Steph.
you've both grown.
As women.
As women.
You know what? You're absolutely right, Scott. I got to ask you this, Jeffrey, though. Yeah, your character has grown. I'm kind of curious to know from you, did you think that Negan would have lasted as long as he has?
No. Yeah, no. When I joined the show, I remember talking to Scott initially, and I think they wanted me for at least 2 years, but I didn't anticipate it could go on sort of further than that, maybe 3. And then look at me, I'm still hanging out. I feel very blessed to be here, by the way. But Negan has had a roller coaster of a journey from who we met, in season 6 to where he is now. There has been many iterations of Negan and him trying to sort of navigate this world. And I think that this show, like Lauren just said, I think has allowed us to kind of dig a lot deeper than we've ever been able to before, which is pretty cool. That being said, this year was rough on Negan, and we'll see how he comes out of it.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're still with us. Negan is still with us. Yeah. I mean, as a longtime Supernatural fan, I just like seeing your face on my TV. So,
thank you, much appreciated. Thank you.
Jeffrey, you and Lauren, you're both executive producing as well. Lauren, you're stepping behind the camera as well. You directed an episode or 2.
Mm-hmm.
What was that experience
just one.
like? Okay.
Oh my God.
Tell us about it.
Awesome. I cannot even, I'll try to put it into words. It was my favorite episode in our season before I knew that it was the one I would be directing. It's one of the biggest VFX episodes the Walking Dead universe has ever accomplished. Yeah, it was so challenging because it wasn't an episode that Maggie wasn't in. I was in almost the entire episode, but it was great. It was, for a first time directing experience, I felt like I got conditioned in the deep end, and I came out just ready to do more, but very, very tired.
She was awesome. I can attest to it. She was really, really good.
Now, Scott, I got to ask you this. By the end of season 1, it seems as though, Negan is left with no choice but to return to his old ways. But my immediate assumption is he's not going to be the main antagonist for season 2. Could you tell us, what's the driving force for the conflict in season 2? Like, who are the maybe some of the new characters that we might see that might emerge?
I think there is no single big bad. There's a lot of shifting as far as the power rankings this season. It isn't all antagonistic. It's a little more complex like that. It's a little more political. It's a little more, and then it can get kind of physical. You have characters, or rather actors, like Kim Coates, who is a character. I don't know, hero, villain, jester. I have no idea sometimes. I arrived on set. He took me by the arm, and I had one of the most surreal conversations in the world. The dude is an entertainer.
He's awesome.
I can't wait for people to see how he interacts with these characters we have in front of us. So,
Do you think you could reveal to us when can we expect to see season 2 of Dead City?
5425. 425. I
May
was trying to be
4th.
clever.
it's a locker combination.
Yeah, baby. And your swimming kit is inside, as well as a DVD of season 2 of Dead City. Yeah, May 4th, baby.
Yes, May 4th. Y'all heard it here first on IGN Fan Fest, May 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
Oh, you did that on purpose then. Okay.
It does seem that way, doesn't it?
Now that we know when we can expect it, is it possible for us to get like a sneak peek of some sort? Because like I want to see what we're in store for.
It's amazing that you ask, because we just happen to have the opening minutes of the first episode of season 2 of Dead City for your viewing pleasure.
Well, Jeffrey, Lauren, Scott, thank you so much for spending some time with me here at IGN Fan Fest to tell us a little bit more about The Walking Dead, Dead City. And now we finally know when we can expect it. May 4th. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much.
You bet.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
This is so nice.
Thank you for this.
And there you have it. Well, you can watch The Walking Dead, Dead City only on AMC and look forward to the season 2 premiere on May 4th. Keep it locked right here as IGN continues with more Fan Fest.